The Knicks are what? The Knicks are what? The Knicks are what?
From the intro.
Take note.
Big Beach. We're here.
My man Alex was
It's different this time.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Terry and Trey back for the first time in forever. All the comments, guys, we're fine. Just had a lot going on, really busy. But we've seen every game, been watching every game, going crazy for the past few weeks. The Knicks are in the playoffs, and something happened while we were posting. A certain catchphrase became big. And listen, I'm not trying to get royalty, Julius Randle and the rest of Knicks fandom. I'm fine. Yo, run with it. I just want to acknowledge in 2018, if you watch the intro, you know, what did you say?
We're here.
Thank you. You said it first. I just want the credit. I don't care about the royalties. I want the credit.
Listen, I want to... Outside of we're here, I want to say for all of us Knicks fans, yes, we apologize for not being around for so long. And yes, we have been watching all of the games. But how do we all feel as Knicks fans right now? I am still a little bit in this disbelief. I walk around the house and I'm shaking my head. I'm like, I can't believe this. I can't believe, I can believe it. I can believe it. Yes, we made it into the playoffs. But it was an imagination. It was a dream. It was a fairy tale. We all know it was. Don't even front. We all know that we were saying playoffs going like, haha, yeah, we're going to make the playoffs. It was like a fairy tale. And sometimes fairy tales and dreams do come true.
They do. I tweeted this out last night during the game. I said it's like the Knicks crammed the last 10 years of us not developing, whether it's as a franchise, so on the court, off the court, drama in the media, drama behind the scenes, all that stuff. It felt like a lot of times we weren't making progress. And it's like the Knicks took all the progress they were supposed to make for 10 years and crammed it into one season. So it's like, watch, we're going to go from a bad franchise with average players, not so good players, to an elite franchise. The Knicks are 31 and 39. Hold on. 31 and 39.
Almost double. They're about to be double our amount of games we won last season. We're about to be double.
Exactly. And in a regular season, because this is a 55.7% win pace, on a regular season of 82 games, we would have won 46 games if we keep keeping the record to the end of the season. So this year has been a dream. I predicted 30. That was my very optimistic prediction. It's been better than that. I know you mean by still feeling in disbelief because I still watch them and sometimes I still have these old tendencies to think the bad things going to happen. Or like last night down against the Spurs, I'm still thinking, I'm like, maybe this is the one that just gets to be. But we come back again. We keep coming back. Everyone steps up. And I know you want to go through a lot of points here. We're going to talk, guys. You know we can talk. We're going to talk for a while. We're making up for development. We're going to make up for weeks here by talking way too long until we take
Don't turn us off just yet, though. Not just yet. So listen, we have to start at the top. And I'm actually going to talk about James Dolan, or Jimmy Dolan, as they call him on the Michael Kay show. The thing is, we have not heard a peak from him, right? Crickets. Which is what we've always wanted. So we're fine with that. The front office has to get credit because organizations always start from the top, right? How they run, who their employees are, what positions they put people in, what they allow, what they don't allow. That comes from the top. So coming from the top, this front office has put together excuse me. That's also part of why I haven't been taping is my allergies. I was going to mention that. But yes, the front office has put together an incredible roster from the coaching staff, the developmental staff, the video coordinators. Shout out to Dice Yoshimoto. I see you. Listen, and then of course the coach, right, who I think has finally been able to get accountability from these guys. And I know we joked about before and spoke about having that teacher or that leader where you're almost kind of fearful of him because he screams and shouts and you feel an accountability towards him or her. And you can see it with this team. This and it's not like, oh, we're afraid of him, but yes, there's an amount of respect that we're not gonna F up. We're not gonna F up because we gotta do it this way. We gotta do it the right way. I can't even begin to tell you how proud I am. And all of these guys are like younger than you, so they could all be my children, right? And I look at these guys and I'm like, wow, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of them as a team. I'm so happy for us as the fans. I'm so happy for them as a franchise. They're happy. The fans are happy. The town and the city is happy. It's incredible. It's just incredible. I'm floored. I'm actually floored.
Well,
that's how I feel.
I'll say this, especially regarding the front office. They did it the right way. They came in. They didn't rush the judgment. The funny thing about this season, and I keep bringing this up, I don't think they expected this either. I think they wanted to lay a foundation, see what happened, and then build upon it next year. This year turned out to be what it was. I have to give them even more credit because at the deadline, a lot of people were upset that we didn't go and make a big trade or maybe get a point guard or do this and that. And the funny thing is, right after the deadline, we go ham and win all those games in a row. So they were right at every turn. Honestly, you're saying they put together a great team. The funny thing is, so many of these players were here last year, and you know they didn't. I mean, a lot of them did get. A lot of them did get a lot better. They both did it. But the thing is, it just been like we just got serious. That's what it feels like. It felt like we got serious from the top down and realized like this is New York basketball. We're gonna have to live it and breathe it every day. Last night, I'm watching Tibbs pissed. Now the call did come back. It was the RJ call where they thought he stepped out of bounds. Tibbs was pissed at RJ for stepping out of bounds. Potentially, he didn't do it, so
right.
Maybe apologize later. But the fact that Tibbs is engaged late in the season after we've overachieved to this crazy level where, yes, we already made the playoffs. We do want to make sure we get a good seed. But to a lot of coaches, they would feel like job done, at least in their demeanor, right? You had Fizdale smiling when we won 1 game out of 5, like happy, right? Compared to this. And so I'll say from top to bottom, it's been an incredible year. We've gained so much respect around the league. They are still trying to constantly move the goalposts and say this and that, the other. Oh, now we need to. The ESPN had a segment saying, oh, the Knicks, if they lose in the playoffs, is it a failure of a season? I'm like, failure?
Okay, please. First of all, second of all, because I already went on my little rant. This is the develop. So to me, and I'm sure to you as well, because we've discussed this. This is the development that we were looking to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. What happened this 1 year? I mean, so far-fetched for us to be into the playoffs, right? So we were looking for, okay, development, and then end of this season, we have the money and the cap space to get another good player, right? So now we're going to have 2 very good players on the team. Julius wasn't considered a star at this point. He is now. But I said this to you, and you can talk about it right here. I feel like we are the only team, and correct me if I am wrong, because I could be wrong. The Nets have 3 stars. As far as I know, we are the only team in the entire league that has 1 superstar. Ooh. And mind you, he only just now became a superstar. Like in the last few months, just became top ranking, putting up the numbers that he's putting up, hitting those triple doubles, talking about him in conversations with Steph Curry and LeBron James and the other elite players in the league. Julius Randle has proved himself beyond and again has only just now become a superstar in this league. His name is now known in this league. And we only have him. Yes, RJ is coming up right behind him, but he is not there yet. He is clearly not there yet, but he's getting there. We don't have a superstar. And what we're looking for right now, and what I think is probably going to end up happening in the offseason, now that we've gotten now we're getting our rank back, and now we can brush our shoulders off, and the league is giving us some our respect, right? Put some respect on our name, CP. Put some respect on our name. Now that that's out there, now we probably will get those superstars that want to come to New York, right? Right? They're going to want to come to New York now. But to me, we kind of built a little homegrown team right here. With Julius being homegrown hair, even though no, he wasn't drafted by us, he grew hair to become a superstar here in New York City.
He said it last night or maybe 2 days ago. He said in his interview he wants to be a Knick for life. He said
He wants to what?
Wants to be a Knick for life. Now, he wants to retire here. He literally
tattoo that shit on your arm next to Biggie, mother.
Oh.
Tattoo that shit on your arm.
Now you gotta edit.
No,
now you gotta edit.
You could just go bleep.
I won't. I'm just gonna put it up. I'll put it up. All right, yes. So everything you said, Julius Randle, I want to talk about him. I do want to say one last thing just about the Knicks and everything. You know things are going well because it's light out and the Knicks are playing basketball.
and warm light. It's
warm. We're about to hit playoff games. It's 70-degree weather. I'm going.
Wait.
Until next week.
Do you even have summer Knicks gear? Where are you gone? What is happening here? Okay, I guess I gotta handle the show by myself at this point. So I think we're about to talk about. Oh, you have summer Knicks gear. You have summer shorts.
We're here. By the way, I want to say one more thing about the "we here" catchphrase. Like 3-4 years, people will see that intro and 100% think we just did it because it's become the rally.
No, I don't necessarily think so. I think how I said it was so. We were sitting here by my kitchen counter, and I didn't even know why I said that. Yeah, I was talking about us, you and me. I was probably talking about us saying, "Hey, we here."
Projecting. Hold up. They're projecting. Listen, think about it. In 4 years, when we're in our second NBA Finals with a couple rings, the Knicks are a national team. Randall's on every late night show, wearing fancy suits and all the like. And he's saying, "We here, we here." Anyone who comes to our channel is gonna see "we here" and be like, "Oh yeah, they're saying the Knicks thing." It's like saying
our subscribers will know that we said it here first.
Our first 6,000 subscribers. But yes, let's talk about Randle and RJ.
Yeah.
We've spoken about them all season long. But it's still hard for me, for both of them, and obviously Randle more than RJ, to even contextualize what they've done this year. Julius Randle, to me, has made the most impressive single season improvement I have ever seen, maybe in any sport ever. And I'm going to tell you why specifically it's this exciting for me. Getting from bad to good is, I don't want to say easy, but a lot of people get from bad to good, right? People who have to lose weight, you see a lot of people lose weight and become fit, right? You see a lot of people, go from not knowing a language to being able to speak a language. Sometimes it's actually way harder to go from already good to great, because that next step, that elite, top, excellent tier is almost impossible to reach, right? How many people... That music playing?
No, that's my daughter. That's
this.
Hey, Dream, we're in the middle of taping a live show. So talk to you later. Love you. Bye. She's graduating. She's graduating from college on Monday.
I'm graduating from school. We're driving up in 3 days. That's really soon. Yeah, regardless, back to what I was saying. You rarely see people become great. Randle already had so much going on for him. But he didn't just get more minutes and now get a bigger role. He had the same thing he had last year, but he just seemed to refine every single part of him. It's almost like he was a bunch of knobs and he just turned every knob up a little bit level higher. And the overall result is this player who is incredible. His numbers this year are insane. He's shooting 41% from three still. I kept expecting his 3-point percentage to drop. When he started off the year on fire, I'm like, okay, it's going to be good for a while, but it's going to drop to like 35, 36%. Even then, I will be happy because he shot like 29, I think, the year before. He's still shooting over 40. It's 41% right now, today. He's 24 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game. The crazy thing about Randle is that he's just in his prime, but not just like his age and where he fits into the team. mentally and emotionally, if you watch him on the court, his swagger is hitting a next level. Randle's starting screaming. He's starting to scream stuff like, "You can't guard me." He's coming up the court, looking at guys like, "I'm going to score on you. You're going to respect me." He's getting that feeling of pure confidence. I always compare it to music because there are times to me where rappers are in their prime, in their peak, and if they release 20 albums, they'd all be good because you can't.
So before you talk about RJ, and you're talking about Randle, right? Here's a question I want to ask you: what's happening with his contract?
Oh, it's a wrap. They're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get to the contract.
Okay, fine. You and I haven't. I just brought it up because you and I haven't discussed it as yet, and I wanted to know if what I really wanted to know is, are we in any trouble? And could we? And my question is, could we lose him? Because at this point, like,
we're not gonna lose him unless we want to. And I'll discuss that. But regarding just Randle in general, what a season he's had. On the court, off the court, he's become a leader. Saw him last night getting the Player of the Month award. Kaiden, his son, is a star at the Garden after he cried after that Nets thing. You saw the Nets thing when he cried, right?
No, I didn't.
I gotta send that to you. It was really funny. He's crying, pointing at the poster of the Nets players after we lost because he was so upset. He hated them. He was like pointing at Kyrie. But Julius Randle, on the court, the leader. Off the court, the leader. He set the tone for the entire season. He's playing 37 minutes per game, grinding every night. And the thing is as well, he's somehow doing this 69 games in. Here's where I'm not worried about Randle and fatigue. We're already at the finish line. Usually in marathons, 26 miles, the hardest ones are like 21, 22, 23. By the time you get to 25 and finishing up at 26, you're chilling. You already got there. Randle did the work. Clearly, his body is prepared for this because he's not slowed down. And the playoffs in a weird way are going to be easier on this team, at least physically in some ways, than the regular season. Not the crazy traveling, not crazy back-to-backs. They're going to have time off between games. And because we're not in the play-in, which is massive, we get an extra, I think, 3-4 days off.
Yeah, almost a week. I think it's almost a week.
Almost a week. So we're going to have so much time to prepare. I am totally fine with Randle this season. Let's touch on RJ as well. Rowan Barrett Jr., he has taken every step we wanted to see him take. He's also shooting 39% from 3, 39.98. It's going to be 40. Hopefully he's going to hit a couple more. He's another guy that I didn't think we were able to shoot for years. In fact, honestly, I thought RJ at best might give you like 37% from 3, but he'll be really good inside because he's strong. He's now showing you that he's hitting threes and he's still strong inside. He does need to improve there in some ways, but 17.6 points per game in his second season. I was hoping, I know some people did predict 17, but even if he got 17, I thought it'd be on a bad team where he's shooting a lot because we're not that good. This isn't him on a bad team. This is him being the second option on one of the best teams in the NBA, or at least in
Listen, RJ Barrett is playing chess with a poker face because this guy is coming out, right? And he's playing the first half not so well. So if other teams are scouting him, right, it's so funny because he comes out and he acts like, yeah, not like, oh, I can't play, but he comes out and he's not necessarily scoring. So the whole first half he's not scoring. And typically for a player that would make them really down, and it would show in their performance, like they just kind of wouldn't be able to get it back. For some reason, he is able to come out. It almost seems like at the beginning of each quarter, he comes out completely fresh, completely new. It's like the rest of the game doesn't even matter what he did or didn't do, and he's able to come out and then all of a sudden have like a great quarter. And I don't mind that at all because then it almost seems to me like other teams can't really game plan for him because they don't really know what's going to happen. They don't really. Typically, a player has like a good game or a bad game, right? That's typically how it goes. RJ has a good quarter or a bad quarter. And so I kind of like that little flip-flop with him. And I love that he stays with the same level of energy, the same level of confidence through the entire game. And I think that's really, really what has helped to keep him in the game the way that he is. And he clearly is our second best player. And he clearly is just only going to continue getting better and better and better. You see his body. He's already grown. He's already grown all in here. You know what I mean? So it's this part, and not that, and it's going swimmingly. It's going swimmingly. What is he? 20 years old? Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. This kid is a superstar too. I see your signature. I see your autograph.
Yeah, he's a superstar in the making.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do many coaches, I don't want to say all, I don't want to be like 4 out of 5 doctors say, but what do many coaches say is the most important trait of big scorers in the NBA or big shooters?
I do not know, Terry. What do they say?
Short-term memories, and RJ has it in abundance. He does not remember what he did. He did not carry the baggage of the first half with him so many games, even back to his rookie year. One of the big things I loved about RJ was his bounce back ability. This is an elite player in the making, an elite mentality. Remember, RJ's been groomed for this forever. None of this should be a surprise. And right. I'm so happy we have him. Listen, everything worked out. Seriously, I know it's revisionist to say, oh, look how everything worked out. But if you really look back to everything we've been hoping for or planning for in the last 2 years, right? Whether it's Zion, whether it's the whole KD, Kyrie's thing, whatever it is. In a way, everything worked out better. Zion's incredible. Zion has been insane this season.
Is Zion's team in the playoffs?
They're not, but it's not his fault. Zion, it's funny about Zion, actually. He's been everything you thought he would be, but because he's in New Orleans, he's not getting any press. But regardless, I don't care about Zion. We didn't need Zion. RJ fit this team. RJ fit what Randle's doing. I can't believe Randle and RJ can play together because I was really against it, but they proved me wrong, which is why I don't record videos, guys, because I don't know what I'm doing. But seriously, incredible stuff. RJ taking another step forward, and next year is going to be even better. Next step, let's talk about the veteran leadership. I know you have a few players you want to bring up, but I think it's been a core tenet of our team, right? Veteran guys, and we've seen these one-year guys come in, but this year we got the formula just right.
Yo, I mean, Gibson and Rose, you could not have picked 2 better people to be the veteran leadership in this team. Gibson was here last year, right? So the guys already knew him. Fort Greene native, tough guy, and you know you and I met him, and he was so pleasant and so nice. And sometimes I see him on the court, and he's mean. He's got that mean, gritty Brooklyn, New York gangster toughness going on, and I'm like, oh damn, like okay, so that's him on the court. I really like that, and he brings that to the team. They step up with him. Derrick Rose,
bro.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out to Derrick Rose.
Second coming. I mean, talk about Derrick Rose 2.0. Talk about him coming back to New York after going MIA. That game, you and I were there. After him going MIA, coming back to New York and being so humble and knowing that and feeling completely fine to come off the bench and for the team to use him in whichever way they want to use him. Tibbs to use him in whichever way he wants to use him. And that Tibbs connection with Gibson and Rose definitely is a big part of why they are so important to this team.
It's his safety valves, right? Now, Rose is more than that. I don't want to just relegate him to that because he's been everything for us off the bench. The thing about Derrick Rose is if you didn't see him in his prime, you're a younger fan, maybe you didn't see Derrick Rose when he was really killing it around 2010, 2011. For him to be this good at 32 after the insane amount of injuries he's had, the wear and tear on his body. Remember, this isn't just Derrick Rose being 32 regularly. He's like a 38, 39-year-old based on his body, given what he's gone through. This is a guy with multiple structural injuries, one of the most athletic players in NBA history. And he doesn't look, that's a crazy thing too, right? He doesn't look like anybody who lost any athleticism. That just shows you how incredibly athletic he was. And he's still so fast. He's still faster than guys who are 10 years younger than him. He's an incredible player, and it's such a good story because he came back, like you said, and basically rectified the entire situation that happened the first time here. The first time here was not good. Even when he was coming back, a lot of us did know, obviously, he's a different player now, a different person, but there's that skepticism there. You know, that, what's it going to be? Is it going to be the same thing again? Is it going to be better this time? And boy, not just better, he's blown it away. In many games, he's the second best player. In many games, he's the guy keeping us in games. In the clutch, he's the guy getting to the basket, hitting shots, knows how to play. And you get excited by the prospect of Derrick Rose in the playoffs. Because what you see with him, and based on everything I just said as well, you see a guy who is an elite player, but cannot do it for an elite amount of time because his body's not the same guy. But he can definitely do it for a little bit. So for him, Derrick Rose in the playoffs Derrick Rose made his money in the playoffs, right? You know he's excited. Derrick Rose is playing 26 minutes a game now, or 27 minutes per game. In the playoffs, that could be bumped up to 30, potentially. We're going to need him, right?
Oh,
and
yes.
I don't trust Derrick Rose to be a starting point guard for any NBA team for 82 games. He's not going to be able to do it. Do I trust Derrick Rose to play like a superstar in a series in just 7 games? Yes. And now I'm like, looking at this team going into the playoffs, I'm like, listen, I know we might play the Bucks. We'll see where it shakes out. I really want to play the Hawks or even the Heat. But if we play the Bucks, I'll just say this. Don't be shocked if all of a sudden Derrick Rose looks like you're saying we don't have that second superstar.
Right.
I think Derrick Rose for the game that we needed, scoring 25, 30. I mean, he's doing that now, right? What can he do in games where we really need it? Remember, the regular season is a marathon. You want to push, but you're trying to pace it out. You don't want Derrick Rose killing himself on a back-to-back on the road, in January. You want him saving it up for the playoffs, and guess what?
Well, actually, I have to cut you really. I have to cut you real quick because
I was gonna say we're here, and you ruined it. Go.
I'm so sorry, son, but you're talking about Derrick Rose, right? And you're saying, I'm so happy that his ankle is sprained right now. And I'm only happy his ankle is sprained right now because it just means that he can sit out a few games. And I want him to sit out a few games right now so that in the playoffs, because what you said is so, so true. Absolutely. He is that. Derrick Rose in his prime was our first player, and then Randle even. I don't know.
Oh,
right?
Rose, if he was in his prime, he'd be the best player on the team.
So Derrick Rose and Randle in their prime would be that, right? So now he's not in his prime, but he still is able to give us those spurts. You just said it, those 15 minutes, those 20 minutes where he can come out, turn the game around. We watched him do it so many times. Come in, turn the game around, give the team back that energy boost, and then be able to sit back down. So I'm happy that he has a sprained ankle right now because a sprained ankle is not a big injury. It just allows him time to sit down and chill for a little bit. And so what were you about to say?
Well, I'll say this. I agree specifically in this case. When Randle hurt his finger last night, I'm like, no, don't nick it up, God. Don't do it. But we're good. I want to talk about a couple more vets because the funny thing is, like we said, obviously, Derrick Rose has been incredible. So I think out of all the kind of, vets, he's probably number one. But 2 guys we really need to give credit to. Alec Burks, number 1, just came back balling again. And to me, the unsung hero of the season, Nerlens.
My person too.
Listen, bruh. Alec Burks has been scoring. He's been insane. He's been a good scorer his whole career. If you look back at our video that we did on Alec Burks from the beginning of the season, this is who he's been. He's not had this role and been able to kind of hit that next level. Teams haven't given him. He's also been injured at times. It's not been as clear as his role has been here. But I tweeted it out multiple times. I've spoken about it on the channel. He is 73% of a superstar. You were putting in the ingredients for a superstar: shot making, swagger, 3-point shooting, mixing it all up in the cauldron, and they put it in the oven to bake, and somebody opened the oven too soon, so it didn't come out perfect. But 70% of it is done. Because if you watch Alec Burks play and you look at him, he looks like an all-star for a certain period, and he can turn it on and go crazy when you need him to. I'm so excited to see him in the playoffs. Nerlens Noel. I'm going to let you talk about Nerlens and his interior defense, everything he's done. But I do want to say this. He has had this season, at this point, I've lost count, at least 7 or 8 blocks that are in contention for some of the best blocks I've ever seen in the mid-90s. Like, the blocks he's made this season at the rim on dunkers coming strong. I think Nerlens, hard name to say, he said it earlier in the season. He said, straight up, if they don't know, they're going to find out. And a lot of people have been finding out. Nerlens Noel has been so good that I have a controversial take on the future of Mitchell Robinson with the Knicks. Because
yeah. So the thing is, Nerlens Noel has, you said, unsung hero. Absolutely. He almost kind of just sort of sneaks in there, and he's given us some fabulous blocks. he has really, I don't know what his plus minus is, what the plus minus is when he's on the court, but he stepped up, and he has shown us continually how he keeps stepping up, and we haven't missed a certain other players you're about to talk to. Right now, to me, Nerlens Noel is the center. And Gibson is the backup. Nerlens is the center, and he's the backup. I mean, and assumingly so too, because Nerlens, his stature is so much more slender and slim than the typical center that you see, who's that right, like that big guy. So I think it makes him more agile, right, and makes him more fluid on the court. So he's able to kind of he's not that heavy I'm the center. He kind of is able to be weave in and out and make his way to that basket and block your shot.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, he's averaging a steal a game, which is crazy. Most guys that average a steal a game are usually guards or wings. For a center to do that, it shows he's all over the court. He has been just so good. He still can't catch the basketball. Never learned that skill. But sometimes I'm like, Noah's actually trying to just block the ball. When we pass it to him, he's just trying to block. That's his natural. It's all good, bro. And one thing I will say, kind of what you brought up, the fact that he was brought in to be the backup, right? Listen, how he came here, his contract, everything was to come back up Mitchell Robinson, right? He gets thrust into a starting role on a team that's doing way better than expected. It's not even like Mitch got injured on a bad Knicks team and now we got to play the backup. This is the Knicks, who were top first seed at the time, basically, one of the best teams in the East. Mitchell going down. Maybe we weren't top first when he went down. I can't remember. But regardless, Nerlens Noel had to come in and not just be the guy filling in, but the guy filling in for a very good team and then sticking with it, staying his role, and not looking out of place remotely. And in many ways, honestly, at times, showing me more than Mitch has. Incredible. Now, for the future, of course, Tom Gibson is 35. This dude got a year left, right? Nerlens Noel is 26. He's in a good spot. Mitchell is 22. Mitchell has a long career ahead of him. Though I will say this. Contract situation next year with Mitch is a little bit iffy because he signed that deal. He's going to want more money. He didn't show enough this year to get that money because he got injured. So in a weird way, it kind of works out for the Knicks. The Knicks could lowball Mitch a bit and be 3 years, $30 million total, right? As opposed to what he might be expecting to get, which might be closer to 50. We'll see. He has to come back and play. But I will say this about Mitch, and as much as we're in the season and we have to be excited about this, the front office, they're planning for the future. Mitch does give you an interesting option as a trade piece. Because if you're looking at the summer and these big guys that are available, and one of them in particular, I know is going to come up a lot in the summer, especially if they flame out, which looks like it might happen anyway, Damian Lillard. If there are trade rumors that start in the summer, and you're telling Portland, they already have a center in Nurkic, but still, tell them, listen, you're getting a prospect like Mitchell Robinson. You're getting a pick, you're getting this, that, the other. That just sweetens deals. So many deals. We were never really fans at all of trading Mitchell Robinson because him alone was going to do something for you. And who wanted to come here anyway? We weren't even a good team. But now that we're a good team, a lot of good teams don't take that step. They get stuck. I think Boston Celtics are a great example of this, right? All these years, they had all these draft picks. They did all these trades. They did this, that, the other. They never took the step to really acquire that next level talent to add to them. They did get Gordon Hayward, but Danny Ainge has never made the trade he should have made. Now, Jaylen Brown injured for the season. Boston's a 7th seed. It just looks like they're not, they're going to go on the first round, and Kemba Walker's there with that crazy contract. You got to strike where the iron's hot. There's something good about patience, but you also can't be too patient. So for the Knicks and for Leon Rose, is this the summer? Maybe it's for them to decide. They know what they're doing. But the Knicks may take another step forward. They may not just say, oh, this season was good, let's just do it again, because the NBA is not guaranteed. All the old guys this year who showed they can play could come out next year looking 10 years older immediately, and things could fall apart. As good as this season has been, it's got to be a building block for what's next. Not just, this team is perfect the way it is. We can keep playing. Clearly, we're going to win something. We have the cap room. We have options for a reason. But Nerlens Noel, the fact that you even have me bringing this up and considering it is crazy. Since we're going through who do we keep? Who do we keep?
Yeah. So this is my question to you, right? So there's clear people that we're keeping, which is Julius Randle, which is RJ Barrett. Actually, after I call those two names, actually, after I call those two names, so for me personally, I do want to keep the Derrick Rose and the Taj Gibson, for all the reasons we just discussed. Also, they're part of Tibbs' crew, and I feel that they also help the rest of the team also to really step up. So, all right, so I would say Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. I kind of want to throw Nerlens Noel into there. I know we just spoke about him. I kind of think I want to throw him into there right off the bat too.
So who do we keep? You said it. Maybe two guys are really the ones that stand out. But I will say this. Here's what I want to see here next year. I think you figure out, make smart deals. You don't overpay. But Randall obviously is here. RJ's here. Bring back Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock took such a big step up from last year where, he obviously went through the injuries and stuff like that. And had a bad injury. So we know, he wasn't really in optimal condition. We actually had the deal where we signed him to a bigger contract and then we cut the contract down because of the injury. We cut it down to a smaller deal, which allowed us to then get Marcus Morris. And I still feel like all that stuff was this whole thing into fruition, right? Marcus Morris led to us trading for the pick that led to Emmanuel quickly. But I will say this, I feel like Marcus Morris brought something to this franchise last year. Even in his brief little 4-month spell that stuck with some of these guys. And he's been happy. He's tweeted about us. He's happy to see this. Remember how crazy he was last year? To the point where some people didn't even want to trade him because he was so good. It was a good trade in the end. But who do we keep? Randall, RJ, Reggie Bullock, Mitchell Robinson, unless you want to trade him for something bigger. Don't trade him to trade him. If you're trading him, should be in a bigger deal for a much better player. Right. Derrick Rose, 100% coming back. That's Tibbs' boy. I can't see him not. He came here to come back. He didn't come here just to leave it.
Right.
Alec Burks, yep. He's an interesting one because I think a lot of teams will be happy to pay Alec Burks. I'm not happy, but will be interested in maybe paying him. Nerlens Noel. Taj Gibson on a 1 year. Obviously, quickly, Obi.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. I completely forgot. I completely forgot about the new guys. the new guys. We just got them.
Quickly, Obi. And then you get to the point where, Theo Pinson, lock him in. We need him for the Knicks. We need him, keep him here, lifetime contract. Now, the bubble guys are Elfrid Payton, who I'm going to respect Elfrid, been part of a good Knicks winning team. Thank you. I don't want to see Elfrid here next year. And he's been cutting his minutes big time. It just doesn't bring enough, though he's been a solid contributor. So I want to shout out to Elfrid Payton. But Elfrid, Kevin Knox, iffy, up and down, Frank Ntilikina, I don't even know. This dude is just still here doing random things every game.
Yo.
Like Frank, I would like Frank to come back for another year, but he's actually out of contract. It's not the situation where he has another year. So I'm like, do you really want to offer him money to stay here? I don't know, maybe, and honestly, Frank needs to go somewhere where he can play. He needs to play. He's young. He needs to be playing and making mistakes. So we'll see. Now, obviously, I just listed pretty much every role player.
Right.
All these guys probably won't come back. So it'll be interesting to see what we do because we have the most cap room in the league and a lot of players. A lot of players. Forget guys who are free agents or not. Players right now around the league are seeing the vibes of Madison Square Garden. They're seeing Julius Randle, who's getting routine MVP chats. Yesterday, I think Clyde or who's the other commentator last night? I can't remember, but he said basically, oh yes, the Randle chats, they start now. Meaning it's every game. It's not spontaneous. The Randle is and the same energy every single night. You think these guys are not coming to the Garden after being in their dead arenas that looked like COVID before COVID? Yeah, I said it. I'm out here talking smack. I see your arenas. No one's there. No one's there. It's not the Garden. Not the Garden. So they're coming to the Garden with 2,000 fans or whatever it is now. They're hearing 2,000 fans sound like 20,000, and they're seeing the enthusiasm this late in the season. They're seeing Randle getting treated like a god in New York City. Players want to come. They're going to want to come here. They're going to want to come here. So the front office has a lot of opportunity this summer to make a lot of big things happen. Let's get through the playoffs. Let's see what we see. But it's an exciting time to be a Knicks fan. Don't forget, you have 3 picks in the first. Basically the first round because you have the Detroit pick, you have the Mavericks pick, our pick, the late Detroit pick, the early second, late first, basically. So we have so many options. Not to mention all the money. It's like the Knicks. We've said it for years. off the court, we've had a path to success, but we have to get it on the court. Now that we have both, they have everything they can do this summer. They can choose whatever they want to do.
Yeah. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. So my four, because I did forget the two new guys. So my secure four would be Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Emmanuel Quickly. Right. Yes, I want Derrick Rose and Gibson to be here, and yes, I think that Bullock, Burks, and Noel all have been amazing role players. And what I like about them is that they have all stepped up. The couple of games that Julius didn't play, was there a couple of games that Julius didn't play? And then the games that he doesn't play so well, these guys are able to give us those points, which is that's not normal. Normally that's like the second best player that does that for you. We don't have that person. So these guys were all able to step up. And when Julius, our star player, wasn't there to give us those points he normally gives us, they were able to distribute those points amongst themselves to give it to us. So I want to talk about playoff experience, right? And I want to say this because I had said this. I want to say that I said this in one of our earlier videos. Is that if by some fluke of a weird chance, this New York Knicks team of 2021 gets into the playoffs, that's great for them because what they get is the playoff experience that they will need to continue being in the playoffs. Because to me, what's happening this year that was not supposed to happen, we all know that. This just means that we are now able to get experience for the next few years, because you can't get the experience without doing it, right? Like there's certain jobs, DJing, waiting tables, bartending. There's certain jobs that you actually have to have the live experience to know how to handle the live experience. Let me tell you something. You see this playoffs? These guys, the rest of the NBA that's accustomed to playing in the playoffs, they haven't played that level yet, you know. They have not hit that dial, which goes from 0 to 100 real quick. That dial of what these teams play in the playoffs, the Knicks have not played that yet. We haven't played that yet, and we have not played against teams who have played on that level yet either. So outside of the lights on the cameras, because that's what the playoffs are also, right? Like these guys are playing in arenas that are 20% full. So they haven't yet played in the arena that is full with the playoff energy, which is a whole nother energy.
Huh? Not gonna matter. I'm saying it's not gonna matter. They're not gonna play in that either this year.
But they are. But there is another level. You know what level I'm talking about? That these teams
on the court for sure. I'm just saying, like with the crowd, they won't deal with that.
Right.
But maybe by next year things. We both got fully back, so hopefully by next year things will be better. I'll say this too. A big thing this season, we haven't had to deal with the crowds, right? And in many ways, I could see certain guys being more locked in because they don't have that pressure. So it's interesting to see next year how RJ shoots with the crowd there, because RJ's shooting better than you would think right now. So kind of keep when the crowd is there. It's a little interesting dynamic. Even the pressure of the garden itself. Now, in other ways, I think it'll be positive. You'll see us, with more energy because of the fans. But it should be interesting. But like you said, playoffs are gravy. I think at this point, however, because we've had a good season, we do want to see something in the playoffs. If you play the Bucks, we're not expecting to beat the Bucks. We want to see us win 2 games. Maybe if we lose 4-2, that would be really good. Maybe push it to 7. I think if we went to the playoffs and got swept, it would, overall, we'd feel happy about the year, but it would feel like a bit of a downer considering we watched this Knicks team all season long beat teams that they're not supposed to beat. We've beaten a lot of the teams consistently. This road trip was supposed to be the end of us. We performed pretty well on it. So I'm excited to see that next level. I will say most teams, there is that big jump and it's like impossible to handle. Right. Because we play defense so intensely, because of the kind of coach Tibbs is, right? Coach Tibbs is, remember, you're talking about playoff experience. Guess who has it? Tibbs. Tibbs was going with LeBron to go to the finals, that kind of stuff. So Tibbs knows what he's doing. He's going to prepare these guys so much so, and you can see, Tibbs is not wasting time. These guys don't feel they've achieved anything, and he's right. And I'm glad that he's instilling that mentality in them. I'm not that worried that we're going to, be like a deer in floodlights when we get to the playoffs. I do think there may be a thing where just the talent level of some of these teams it's just so high, we can't compete because it's like they're just better. And in the regular season, you can make up for being better by playing a deeper bench, by doing little things, by capitalizing on little mistakes. But in the playoffs, it's so much harder because these teams will now start playing only like 8 guys. That's a big thing. You're gonna have the Bucks or these teams, their rotation is gonna cut super short. When we were playing Giannis in the regular season, maybe we were only playing 30 minutes of Giannis. Now we gotta play him for 40 minutes. Like that's a big difference. So that is one thing I think they'll deal with. But I didn't want to I'm just living in the moment, man. They've got this far. They've shown so much. I don't think they're going to be shocked by it, but I do think in some ways we will see the talent gaps could pop up. But I think they're excited. They're ready for this, man. The Garden in the playoffs, even with the little fans, is going to be insane.
Well, what I want to say is that what I would actually like to see for the playoffs is that the team is so happy that they made it here, right? That what they actually do is play super relaxed because they don't care about not that they don't care about winning, but it's almost like you're going into like, oh, we got here, this is fantastic, let's just have fun. If these guys come out with almost no pressure, right, and almost come out and say, well, look, you know what, we're just going to play for fun because this is a sport we love. Yes, we're going to play hard, but we're going to play for fun because we don't care if we win or not. That could actually result in them playing really freely and loosely and really well. I don't know, but it could be a theory and it could be a way for them to sort of go in. I don't see Tibbs being down for this at all. but I think you understand what I'm saying by, them almost kind of not having. It's almost like, well, I'm not competing. We're just playing.
Yeah, it's not pressure. You see this happen in sports all the time. Where like a bad team, maybe they're ready. The season's over. They're playing free against a great team, and they play so much better. Because the funny thing is about all this, it's still a sport. It's a thing you pick up as a kid and love. Like it's a sport. As serious as it is, it's literally a fun sport. These guys aren't LeBron with the legacy of Michael Jordan on their back. As a weight when they go into the playoffs. Oh my, I have to win. My leg. None of this stuff is good enough for these guys. They're kids having fun playing the game. So it would be incredible if they just said, screw it. Let's just go out there, play free. You never know. Here's the thing. You never know what can happen. The other teams we play in the playoffs are still humans. We're not playing aliens. We're playing other men who are just as fallible. So I'm saying, if we hit the right thing at the right time, we saw this Knicks team do it in '99. I can only say, this, if anything, this is the kind of team that could go on a run you wouldn't expect. Let's wrap it up here. We're almost at 50-something minutes.
I know.
I want to say it's the end. We played 70 games this season, 2 games left. How many has RJ played?
Oh, every single game. He is the only player. He's the only player in the entire league that has played. Started. He started every single game.
Rowan Barrett Jr., thank you for watching, guys. Sorry for the long video, but you know what? Whatever. Hopefully you hung out and had some good fun. If there are any issues with the audio, I made a mistake on my mic setting, so hopefully it's not too bad. I have to check it when I'm done. But we appreciate all the comments, all the support. We're fine, guys. Just been a little bit busy. But good things, different projects, stuff like that. But we'll be back, obviously, consistently for the playoffs. We already locked in our season tickets for next year. We're waiting to see what those prices are going to be for game 1 of the playoffs. But provided it's not going to cost me donating my kidney, I think we're going to keep it going. Mom, you got a backup kidney for me? Holla at your boy?
Sure. If we have, do we have the same blood type? I don't even know. I got to check that out.
Anything you want to say to people?
I want to say thanks. And I think we all feel so deserved of this. I think Knicks fans, I wear my Knicks gear all day and I always get clowned or ha ha ha. And now I'm getting respect. People are watching me like, oh, okay, I see you. So I'm sure.
Bro, I'm out and I'm like, yo, okay, I went to the grocery this morning. I saw 2 people in Knicks hats, right? I know you this story. Let me tell everyone in the comments. I got vaccinated, and one of the guys in line, Knicks fan, decked out in Knicks gear, spoke to him for like 20 minutes. Really fun convo. We here, Knicks fans, you can see them all over the city. The city is buzzing. The sun is out. The Knicks are in the playoffs, and Terry and Dre, we're back. Thank you, guys. Peace.